239 Futbol is proudly presented by V Studio, Chi. They specialize in helping you transform your ideas into truly unique and memorable experiences. Their services include comprehensive audiovisual production, professional photography, high-quality streaming, and event management, all from their studio in the heart of Naples. Find out more at www. Visit our website at vstudiosfl.com. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, and we invite you to join our amazing community.
Anthony Riccici Masonry, with over 30 years of experience providing high-quality masonry work. If you're looking for construction finishes, we are your solution. We offer you quality for your projects, both interior and exterior. Anthony Riccici Masonry, supporting soccer in Naples.
Contact us at 239-450-470.
LG Home, are you thinking about selling your house? Buy or sell your home with confidence with the LG Home team. Professional aesthetic preparation, professional staging that transforms your property. High-quality photography. Official sponsor of 239 Futbol Naples. One-way autocar, your trusted workshop in Naples, Florida. Maintenance, repairs, and diagnostics with the best personalized service. Your car always safe, fast, and in the best hands. Learn more at onewayucar.com. Hollier Builders Group CBG Naples, your partner in high-standard residential remodeling and design in Naples, Florida. We create custom-made spaces with excellence and style, considering every detail and every home. This project is presented by 239 Futbol Naples.
TGPS Accounting Service in the heart of Golden Gate. More than 15 years offering accounting and tax services, taxes, bookkeeping, payroll, notary services, and more. Call us at 239-434-74 or on WhatsApp at 239-449-036. TGPS Accounting Service, proud sponsor of 239 Futbol Naples.
Six Sigma Roofing, specialists in roofing, construction, and remodeling throughout Florida. Protect your home with quality, trust, and fast solutions for every need. Learn more at MARG. This message comes to you thanks to 239 Futbol Naples.
At Super Soccer, we live and breathe football. Footwear for teams, fan gear, and custom uniforms. Now you can print your name and personalize your uniform to represent your team in style. Super Soccer, sponsor of 239 Futbol.
The Gulf Coast Adult Soccer League is the adult soccer league in Naples. Games are played at North Collier Regional Park. 7-a-side soccer for men, women, and co-ed categories from ages 18 up to 60. If you're looking to compete, have fun, and connect with soccer lovers of any age, this is your league. 239 Futbol and Gulf Coast Adult Soccer League, supporting soccer in Naples.
Black Mangrove Woodworks, specialists in wood and metal design and fabrication for residential and commercial projects. From tables and counters to unique decorative structures, everything is handmade with premium quality. Black Mangrove Woodworks, artisanal design and fabrication in wood and metal. BlackMangroveWoodworks.com, official sponsor of 239 Futbol Naples.
Argentinians. Naples Club, a cultural space for the Argentine community. Naples, event organization, cultural parties, traditional food, and live bands. Join this passion on Instagram and Facebook. Hello. Good evening, Naples. Welcome to 239 Futbol. We are now on the fourth program, 4 programs officially on air, and it is a great joy to be able to share a new program with you. We are here in our house in V Studios. We're starting all over again. Today we have a very special guest whom I will be introducing. We're joined by Andy Valiente, who will be staying with us to share the entire hour of the program. And we're going to have a great time because we have a lot to cover. We have what happened in the Decina match because they won. We have all the celebration that took place in BR, in HOB. Yes, BRN on Friday when Naples won a ton of things. Everything about Inter Miami, the goals from Jordi Alba, from Messi. We're going to look at all the situations. We also have the Champions League. And we have all the controversies surrounding Real Madrid. Hoibo, Champions results as well. But we also have a lot of controversies to analyze. So, a ton of things. And all the local leagues, as always, UPCL as well, the Livingston League, everything that's being played at the local level. And we're still waiting for the people from Mexi Soccer. If they want to get in touch with us, we're available. Just like in the Bonita League. We're here to keep you company, to show images. But we need you to have that back and forth with us so things can flow better. So without further ado, I'm going to greet my colleagues. Carlitos, good evening. How are you?
How are you? Rodolfo, good evening. Debbie, Franco. And, well, good evening to a friend, Andy Valiente, who's joining us today. So, well, we send a big greeting to Marcelo, who couldn't be here today due to work issues. But, well, here we have the
replacement. Let's talk. Yes, of course. Welcome. First, I want to thank Carlitos, you, Rodo, and the whole team, the entire production. And second,
France,
I wanted to see if you were paying attention. We're always on, as always. They play in the
First Division. They play First Division and by heart. Both of them are really good. Very good, very good. Well, there was Andy already introducing himself to the Naples audience, so he'll be joining us tonight. Franco, good evening. Good evening. How are we doing? All good? Yes. Is my microphone okay? Yes, everything's fine. Well, I was worried. I thought we weren't coming through well, but it's fine. Ready? Yes, as always. Well, we have a lot of referee controversy, Obia. Yes, we're going to look at all of that. A lot of debate. A lot of debate. We have a lot of referees who follow us and who always comment on what we're talking about, Carlos, so we have a lot to discuss today as well.
yes, the controversies. Well, refereeing is always a topic that gives people a lot to talk about, just like coaches' decisions, right? We're all referees, we're all coaches, and very few actually get on the field and run, right? So when it comes to giving opinions, we're all, journalists and everything. But in the end, it's the referees, the coaches, and the players who are actually out there playing. You were also refereeing a match this weekend, an important one, an international friendly with a lot of controversies. There are even images, so, well, we're going to cover all of that today.
Yes, it was really tough, really tough. An Argentine team. And well, you know, Andy, how the Argentinians are.
I have a couple of questions for you that I always wonder about. I'll ask you later.
Well, once we get into the topic of controversies and everything, we'll all...
Do you think we should talk about what happened? I think it was Saturday, right? The FC Naples match on Friday. How quickly the days go by.
The hamburger didn't agree with you.
Yes, the hamburger is tasty. Wait, but very good. And I also remember that I told you in the first half that FSNA was going to win that match 1-0.
Yes. It's all recorded.
There you have it. Andy brought up the Naples thing. The USL won. And it's also worth mentioning that a friendly match just ended between FC Nepo and Nepo United, which finished 2-2. Obviously, it was an unofficial match, more of a city event to entertain the people. The Dossi 39 supporters group was also highlighted, as well as the season ticket holders. It was a very nice event. Maybe the start was a bit complicated due to the weather, but they managed to pull it off. Both the FC people and the United people, and of course the Dossi 39 supporters group was always present, so we send them a big greeting.
Well, Devin, I also want to remind all of our viewers that we're live on TikTok, as we're trying to be everywhere for you. That TikTok is our official backup channel. And over there on Lidi Binu, you can see absolutely everything that happens behind the scenes during the commercial breaks. It's a continuous live feed with absolutely no cuts, meaning it records all the unfiltered action that happens during the pauses. So it is something you really can't afford to miss. Carlos, if you agree, let's take a look at the report on what happened last Friday at Cinepos. And that's where I'll ask you a question that will come up in the report, where you say, losing 1-0, suffering and playing badly, we turned it around. And at halftime? Yes, at halftime we were still at 0-0. Yes, 0-0, but it felt like we were losing because 3 shots, the post against us, it was very complicated. And the atmosphere, not just you, but you'll see that 2 or 3 others, even the defender whom we'll also hear from in an interview, everyone was optimistic that we would win it. There was this feeling in the air that I don't know if it was because of the number of goals they missed, but
Yes, honestly, Rodo, that kind of thing often happens in football. When a team creates so many chances, we hit the post 2 or 3 times. We were lucky. The opponent had a very good first half, the home team. Honestly, we suffered. Even though, well, the center back didn't play, you pronounce his name better than I do. We even interviewed him. He was honestly one of the best when it came to defending. Well, maybe the team felt his absence a bit, and you can't really blame Jake. Delgado was at times the standout player. But, well, those things happen in football. It's the basic law. When you keep creating chances and don't score, that's what happens. Well, at some point, FC was bound to have a chance to score, and well, it happened in the second half, and the match ended in favor of FC Naples, a huge win. With that, I think they're now 10 points ahead of the 5th place team. And I think they're
10 points ahead, but they have 3 games in hand and face the top teams.
That's right. 3 games.
It's not a given that they're going to win all their matches.
No, 3 games. You have to win 3 games. People say, yes, it's 10. It's not a 10-point difference, but if they win those 3 games, yes, they have to win them, and then we can talk. I think for my part, and I'll take responsibility for this, we can pretty much say that we're in the playoffs, obviously, and that we're going to have that long-awaited home playoff game where the fans and the 239 supporters group will surely shine. And well, I'm very happy about this first tournament for the club. As a debuting club, like we always say, it's not easy, and reaching the goal of making the playoffs and having a home game, honestly, that's really, really good.
I'm still not betting on it yet. I hope for it, but I'm not betting on it just yet. I'm going to wait a couple more games, and we'll see how things go. But let's take a look at the report. Yes, let's see what happened at Hobart Brewing on Friday in Bonita with spectacular weather. Let's watch it.
We are here at Hopside Brewing, and it is truly an amazing place.
The teams are coming onto the field. The match started 0-0, first minute of play. End of the first half. X and Naples are tied 0-0. It was a tough first half. They really struggled. We're here with Jay Dengler, who's injured and couldn't travel.
Jay, ¿cómo estás? How you doing?
Oh, good. I was going to say, estoy bien.
You don't speak Spanish yet?
No, not fully, no.
Okay.
When I have a little hamstring injury from last game at the end of it, should be back in training next week and should be all good.
All right, that's a good news.
Yeah,
because
very good.
We suffered a lot today.
I think we'll be good. We'll figure it out. I think the guys will figure it out going into second half.
Okay, Central Deckville folks is injured today. Talking with 239 Futbol. Carlos, what did you think of the first half?
And honestly, it's tough. We were under pressure. We talked to each other several times, but well, I'm sure we're going to end up winning this match.
That's better than the first half.
Yeah, the burger is really good. The wait was worth it. Everything's tough.
We're really under pressure. We have to win. We have to win this match.
It's tough.
They really bombarded us, hit the post a few times.
But well, let's see the second half. Things are going to change.
It's starting now.
Come on, let's see what happens. Pass it, come on. Thanks. Say thank you.
Penalty for Naples. Handball in the box.
Penalty. Following the review of the recent events that have just transpired, the judges have reached a decision and are now prepared to issue a formal penalty. The individuals who will be receiving this penalty have been identified as the contestant Goda Naples. The game is over. Naples won 1-0. This represents a hugely important away result for the team. A victory that now allows them to move up and secure the third place position in the overall standings.
A bit like we were just talking about with Carlos, Andy, and Franco regarding Naples' chances. And, well, I think the team is in a very good position with a lot of possibilities. I'm not going to make any bold predictions yet because you know how this goes. If you hit a rough patch, you start looking over your shoulder and things get complicated. But I think the team is doing well. So now let's take a look at the standings. Yes.
Yes, in terms of results, the last 2 matches maybe weren't the best we've seen, but at least we won. 1 at home, 1 away. At this stage, the important thing is always to win, to arrive in good shape for that playoff game because, well, you could have an excellent season, finish in first place, win all your matches, but then when it comes to the playoffs, you lose and you're out of everything. So you have to be sharp and ready for the last match and the first playoff game.
The upcoming match is crucial because it's against Portland, who are 10 points behind. It's the match we were talking about earlier. They play very well, and they're the ones with 3 games in hand, so potentially if they win those 3. The thing is, they have to play against the top 3, Chattanooga, Osiri, and...
As long as we don't lose in Portland, then they automatically can't catch up anymore. Mathematically, we'd have to lose.
Naples and the rest win all.
Everything.
It's tough. There are still 7 games left, so that's 21 points. We can say that the cushion, the gap they've created is really good. Yes, they have
about 50% of the points. I mean, there are 21 points still in play and they have a 10-point lead. I think it's very difficult in a league as evenly matched as the USL Onam. I think it's very hard to close that gap.
Yes, yes, yes. They said there are 7 games left. If you put the table up again, it's the same.
7 games that Inter has left to become MLS champions. Did you know that? Isn't that quite a coincidence? The number 7 of luck.
Yes, 7. There they are, 7 games. The last one is on November 25th. Sorry, October, the last game of the season. Greg?
Verano just said exactly that yesterday, that we have to win those 7 games to become champions of the M. I'll tell you a bit more later.
And now we are going to move directly on to discuss the Inter topic as well, since that is precisely the next subject we have scheduled to cover. We also have, remember the WhatsApp number that we'll put on the screen so you can get in touch with us. Everyone who plays here in the local Naples leagues can send in their goals, their plays, referee decisions they want to discuss. That's important. It's important. Of course it's important. No, because you're a referee.
But he keeps insisting about the referees, insisting about the calls. He loves it.
He loves it?
No, because Carlos is desperate to catch me on something. Well, let people send things in. Videos. If I have a
little bit of time, I've got the question I've been wanting to ask you for a while.
Now.
What does he do? We left it hanging there. We left it hanging. I like to leave them hanging. Left it hanging.
Yes, because it's now when he comes. When the Champions League comes, Real Madrid's penalties and all that, we'll have plenty to discuss about refereeing, and we also have some local refereeing issues too. So we've got a lot to talk about. Andy, do you think we should get into what happened with Inter Miami? I think that's settled. With all
pleasure. For me, it's a pleasure. You can see I've got the cap. I mean, I'm wearing my Inter shirt because that's what happened to all of us. When Messi arrived, it changed everything for us with Inter Miami. I've been following Inter since before Pipita Higuain. I mean, I had hopes of seeing a team from Florida and, well, it's my passion. And when Messi arrived, he changed everything and I went crazy and I can't stop.
All right, I am putting on some Inter Miami highlights. Just let them play in the background while we talk, by the way. So, the real question I have is, how much longer do you think Messi actually has?
For me, Messi really has no limits at all.
How many more years? Because I think this is his last moment with the national team.
He then said.
But for me, he said it. No, he says, you know, there's still uncertainty about his farewell in Argentina. So much uncertainty that maybe it's not.
The farewell, maybe he'll play again. Careful.
You know what really gives me hope? It's that he continues to keep up that personal rivalry he has with Cristiano Ronaldo. And the Portuguese hasn't retired. He's 3 years older than Messi and keeps scoring goals, and he hasn't retired. Messi.
He won't retire until he leaves. That's why.
I love that opinion you have. Exactly.
Until Cristiano retires and he can more or less match the numbers, I think he's going to keep going because he's a beast. He wants to win everything.
Guys, what happened yesterday was a rematch and a revenge. Beating Seattle was something incredible that we enjoyed, especially after Jordi Alba's left-footed goal in the 12th minute. A spectacular left-footed shot.
We have the images of the Inter Miami highlights. He puts it, go ahead, we'll see it, and we'll see Jordi Alba's goal too. Now Messi was in. There it is. Look, 430-3 are talking. I don't know if you like it.
Rodo or...
What we coaches sometimes say is that one thing is putting together the squad, the tactical system that is put together by the people who are in charge of the team. Football is often made with this detail in mind. In fact, I've done it myself. You set up a 4-4 whatever, you give it to the journalist put it out like that, and then you play 4-3-1-2-3-5, no problem. And people go by that lineup that's out there. What you really have to look at is how the team defends on the field and everything. That's where you really see the system. Although now, many teams and many coaches use different systems in different phases. The offensive game, defensive game, or depending on the opponent's pressure, there are players who can adapt to different systems.
Look, Devin, I need you to be ready to hit the pause button right when I tell you. So you can pause it and we can get a closer look because, well, this right here is one of the very first chances we get. But I just have to ask, how?
Was Seattle formed in the final and Miami the same or different? No, different. In fact,
Luis Suarez didn't play yesterday and...
9th December.
Inter had a very short squad.
But just take a look at this, right there.
It's perfect, look.
He hits him, look.
Okay, there it came as a win. Perfect. It comes off from behind. No, Jordi Alba.
It's okay, but it's okay. When you were referring to not playing with wingers, honestly, for me, what a winger does is close in when the ball is on the opposite side, closing near the midfield line. Because when you actually have a player with those characteristics, when you don't have the ball, because the goal comes from a recovery in the final third by Inter Miami, and he's already in the winger's position. For me, it's
great to put a fullback in the middle of the field. No, but it's a
fullback, and not just any fullback. He has special qualities. Like if I told you Roberto Carlos, that kind of old school Brazilian fullback who could play as a defender but also as a winger. They had winger-like qualities, a good shot, strong one-on-one skills, and could score goals. Those are the characteristics of Jordi Alba. Also, when it comes to defending, in my opinion, he often thinks more about attacking than defending.
Pause it here.
There he is.
4 at the back and 4 lines of midfielders. That one down there in the bottom left corner, you can barely see him, just half his body. That's Jordi Alba.
Okay?
He's in a double line of 4. No.
No, leave it there. Yes, because when defending, it ends up as a 4-4-1-1. Because, well, Messi is precisely the one who has the least defensive responsibilities.
Right? Yes. So you see, there were the 2 lines of 4. But that's why I tell you, it's a fullback, the midfielder position, gives you that possibility. Plus 2 lines of 4 to defend, and you can let him go, and he scores a goal like he did.
No, so I want to
Talk about the one who scored the goal, right? Who made the difference. This 1-0 at the stadium with Jordi Alba, totally unexpected. I mean, if you had to bet on Jordi Alba being a goal scorer today, that's just not a thing. So there was a lot of talk, and we discussed it with the Inter Miami journalists. What a player Jordi is, so consistent every season. Nobody talks about him. I mean, he doesn't stand out.
He never plays below a 6, 6.5 or higher, always.
He's steady, consistent. They don't throw him under the bus. He doesn't go missing.
with little media attention in a position like left back, just like right back. These are positions in football that often go unnoticed. When there were really good players, whether from before or more recently, many of them Brazilians, like I said before, Roberto Carlos, Cafu, they were incredible players. But of course, from the public's perspective, a number 9 or a number 10 always stands out more than that, than a right back or a left back.
And Messi scores a goal like a number 9. It's incredible. He scores a goal like a number 9, totally. Isn't that a number 9's goal or not?
Messi can play alone. With his mental quickness and technical quality, he can play because inside the box, I've seen him in plays with 3 or 4 players around him, and he has that special touch, that vision of the field. He has the whole pitch in his head throughout the entire match. He knows where the opponents are, where his teammates are, without even looking. When he's looking to the side, he's actually mapping out what's happening, and he knows everything that's going on without even looking.
And Franco was asking me about the difference in terms of teams or formations between the final that was clearly won and this one, which was a significant contrast. Luis Suarez didn't play yesterday. Allende did. But for me, a team...
faster.
Yes, but for me, the fundamental difference is that Messi came into that final after an injury and was just barely making it, just getting by.
A lot.
And now you can see he's got that spark again, that burst of energy. He's involved, he assists, he has that explosiveness. So I think that's a key point, a significant advantage.
I want to bring up a topic that we also discussed with the Inter Miami journalists outside of the interviews and things that were later asked of Mascherano. The issue of the synthetic turf. Mascherano was asked about it and he said there's no way, they don't like it. The players, most of them, look, we've been here for years and I played, but for these guys, for these professionals who have played their whole lives on real grass, playing here, let me ask you as a referee, because I'm sure you've slipped at some point, don't deny it. And you as a coach, what's the difference between playing on a normal dirt or grass field and playing on this?
That, like in futsal, right? Because you are much more controlled and deliberate, you might indeed do a short sprint at some specific point, but it's certainly not constantly stopping abruptly and then sprinting. Stopping and sprinting repeatedly. It's more of a consistent, steady, and sustained pace. Is there a difference?
How many stadiums?
Are there? There is a difference from our sporting perspective for both players and coaches. That's why players go out earlier to check the field, to see how the pitch is. But it's not just about the difference between synthetic and natural grass. There are also differences among the synthetics and among the natural grasses. For example, Brazilian grass, which they call Hawaiian grass in Brazil, is not the same as English grass, which is finer. If you leave the Brazilian grass long, honestly, it kills your legs, it really wears out the teams, and the ball moves much slower. So there's a huge difference there. With synthetic turf, there are also different types. We experience this locally. For example, the synthetic turf at Paradise, at the complex, or at the stadium where FC Naples plays their home games. Honestly, it's a very short synthetic turf with a base made of sawdust, basically wood residue, which is a whole other issue. When it rains, it becomes extremely fast, making ball control very difficult, and the matches end up being of very poor quality. On the other hand, I've played in other places like Palmero, or at the stadium where Stay plays, or at the CPE, where the synthetic turf is longer and has a rubber base. So it feels different underfoot, and the speed of play changes. The type of surface definitely has an influence. As a coach, You try to make the most of the field based on the characteristics of your team. Here at FC Naples, you can also see that the field dimensions are shorter, precisely because the team is still developing. It's a new team and all that. So with less space, the opponent has fewer chances to score. These are all details that, as a coach, you take into account. Now, it's the sum of all these little details that makes the difference. I think that, speaking of, and going back to the Miami-Seattle topic, it's not just about the grass, the field, the dimensions, or the material of the pitch, but also the motivation, because these are two completely different matches. The other one was a final, you were the home team, and here you came for the MLS, a tournament that is still...
Carpet.
That's what I mean. It's a combination of things. Plus, Messi wasn't at a 9.8 level like he might be today. He was more at a 5 or 6. So all of it, the sum of everything, made that different.
All right, guys, give me a second. I want to say hi to everyone in the chat. Efrain, Andres, Jose Pereira. Andres says that Ronaldo has already retired, and I think I agree with him because he's a YouTuber now. Hi, Mariana, Pablo, Korean greetings to everyone.
What's interesting about the players, Ronaldo, Messi, is that I saw a report on social media, and Yamil, like Esmil, Jamal, that their girlfriends, their wives, most of them are Argentine. All three are Argentine. Well, you see what a detail. That's a point for the Argentine women here, for those who are here. It's like you, Rodo, and like me, and also like Andy.
Yes, that makes the difference. But going back to the Inter match, Mascherano casually said that just like Naples has 7 left, Inter also has 7 left, and we have to win them. I'm telling you, when you listen to most Argentinians and Inter Miami fans, they don't want him as coach. We're not going to speak badly about failure or whatever it is. I don't know if we should make a controversy about Mascherano, but today, here with you, I'm telling you, I have faith in him, not just because Messi is there, but because the team is getting stronger.
Hopefully.
Yes.
I hate not being able to agree with you, but
you know, sometimes time proves you right, sometimes you're wrong, sometimes you're not. What I do think is that, well, he had some so-so moments, not good or bad, and a really bad moment where there were 2 or 3 situations related to decisions about the squad. Cresmachi, I mean, let's remember all those situations. He has...
Fault because he has a short squad that got upset. He only had 17 players yesterday. 17 players.
Exactly. That's the thing, Andy. I mean, we were talking about this a bit off the air before the show, and I was giving my point of view here. The coach who comes from another football culture has to adapt to the culture of soccer here, where even if the players are South American like Messi, Suarez, and a bunch of Argentine players, you still have the pressure of
having the best player in the world. I know that.
It's not the same pressure for Messi playing at River, at Boca, or today in the Libertadores. It's not the same pressure as playing for Inter Miami here. It's just not the same. That's why a lot of players at that stage of their careers decide to come here. As a coach, you have to adapt to those things. I was referring to the case when he came to Atlanta, double training sessions, no drinking water, making them run, this and that. How long did that last? 2 months, because he couldn't adapt. He couldn't adapt, tolerate it.
left. All right, check for me how River is doing in the Libertadores. It's still 2-2.
0 losing.
Just a detail.
Well, that gives us a little something. We have to wait. This is football. The first leg is...
Write it down, put it there. I know there are many
River fans here. And at the time when we talked with Rodolfo about the Gallardo issue, about River's squad, that it wasn't the same and all that, well, obviously now at this decisive stage, which, mind you, doesn't mean that in the return leg River can't win. They absolutely could, but it's very difficult. Palmeiras is a very tough opponent, and when they're in Brazil, they become...
Now, obviously, it would have been a complete failure if they had been knocked out in the round of 16 by the Paraguayans. Yes, that really would have been a total failure. Losing to Palmeiras or getting eliminated by Palmeiras is different. It can happen. They are 2 evenly matched teams. Palmeiras might be just a little bit better, but it can happen. Now, just don't lose 6-0 on aggregate, because that really would be something else, right?
Yeah, it's a bit of football banter, especially for Boca fans who are kind of hoping for that. But yes, I do have to say one thing. The Copa Libertadores is very tough. The Brazilian teams have built strong squads. They invest a lot of money in the Copa Libertadores. They have really good rosters. And honestly, they always build their teams for that. They always have
Control over the refereeing as well. Well, they are
strong in CONMEBOL, let's say, all those kinds of things. But anyway, the good thing for River is that they found consistency in the local league. River...
If there's one good thing about River, it's exactly that. Look, they're just chilling, sitting on a beach chair, waiting for Boca, because who's going to say anything to them, right? Well, that's like I always say, it's
lowering the bar, but, well, that's kind of how Argentine football is too, you know? Let's talk about Di Maria. That's an Olympic goal. The other day, Boca, again, after that amazing goal he scored in the Central Derby, and one of the most beautiful derbies in the world, really. Now, it's an Olympic goal that I think at Central Stadium, look, the other day I heard this stat. David Nazario Visconti, I think it was 28 years ago, scored the last Olympic goal at the Gigante de Arroyito. So just imagine, and it's been
years, right? And well, because of Rivers' result, we're actually doing a pretty good roundup. I also don't want to forget to mention what happened in Liga MX on Saturday night, where I'm sure there are people from Mexico watching us, where Chivas de Guadalajara won a Clásico against America after 8 years. I think that's a lot, a whole lot, really a lot. Diego Milito, the coach of Chivas de Guadalajara, who was having a rough time, they were second to last. There was a whole tables difference. America was second, Chivas was second to last. And as the away team, they went there and won well against all odds. So with Milito, sometimes there are doubts when it comes to these kinds of matches. And well, he found his famous back three, the line of three with Meiko that Milito likes to use. He's now found it at Chivas. And well, these things happen in football. And from what I saw this week, it's like, I don't know if it's the same in other countries, but especially in Argentina, they're more prepared for the idea that if you're going to play a derby and you're way above your rival, you don't relax, because we know a derby is different. And the team that's lower can beat the one that's on top. And I don't know if for America that caught them off guard, if they didn't take it into account, or if everyone just wrote it off, and those kinds of things. In football, you can't just say, because I'm in second place and the other team is 18th, I'm going to win.
No. Today in football, obviously, nobody wins just because of the jersey. Nobody wins because of their position in the standings, whether you're first or last. It's always 11 against 11, as they say on the field, and every match is different in different places under different circumstances, and all of that matters. The sum of all those factors makes the difference.
For those who don't know, subscribe right there.
We are on screen. Subscribe and leave a like. Yes, subscribe to 209 of Futbol. Naples. Yes, tell me.
I can add the topic about this MX thing you were talking about, Lionel Scaloli. They asked him a question about how they know he was here.
Yes, Con. I can a little
tell he is. The AFA they made a presentation of the new sponsors for the AFA, and he was also at FIU talking with the students who asked him questions. But in Brickell, at the Marriott Hotel, they asked him a very important question that will be controversial, but they asked him how he saw the MLS compared to the
MX.
And he said that it was very even, and many people said it was very even. If you look at the Leagues Cup, all the Mexican teams were eliminated. Not a single one was left. I mean, come on, Rodo, please.
But I don't think Scaloni is wrong in what he's saying. You have to look at the context. Honestly, I didn't hear it, but I think he's speaking on a broader, more global level. If we're talking about recent results, yes, I can mention the Leagues Cup, but you also have to consider how much importance Mexicans give to the cups and how much importance the teams from here give them. That's why some are out and others are still in. But I think that in a global context,
So how many Argentine football players are currently playing in Mexico?
No, but it depends, because they choose Liga MX at a different point in their careers, not like here with MLS. So there's really no comparison. They're two completely different cultures when it comes to living football. You can draw
Argentine players for the national team who are playing in Mexico.
And it's always very few. The competition for the player is not the same compared to the local competition in Argentina or Europe, and Mexico is still at a slightly lower level.
But let's keep one detail in mind. Can we really get players for the Argentine national team from MLS just because they brought in Messi? Because they brought in Depo? Okay, they're trying to level things out by bringing in big names. The stars, fine. They play here. That's not up for debate. They're already established when they arrive. Angelito Correa, Mexico? Yes, but okay. I'll give you Angelito Correa, who went to Tigres, I think. That's fine. But at the time, Liga MX brought in Gignac, and now they've brought in the Frenchman who plays for America. His name just slipped my mind. Right now, I can't remember his name.
Hey, production, can you look it up?
There are indeed stars. I mean, Messi isn't present, De Paul isn't there, but there are certainly stars. I think I generally agree with Scaloni. And
Then
share opinions.
And the Mexican footballer is also of a very high level. Now, if you go by the results of the Leagues Cup, now that the Mexican teams were eliminated, all the teams left were from MLS. Yes, but no. I went to see a match last year. I think it was Monterrey against Miami, and Monterrey gave the Miami team a real lesson here in Miami. Then, as visitors, they also scored 3 or 4 goals. I mean, Inter Miami was just chasing the ball the whole match.
Andres, who it seems has already stopped watching the match. River says that the Argentinians who go to Mexico are second or third tier.
Well, that may be true, it may be, but they also take players from the Argentine League who, because of the economy and the dollars, are players that the Argentine League can't afford to keep, so they go to Mexico. Like I said, you're not really going to find prominent stars from the Argentine national team, except maybe now Angel Correa, but there are indeed stars from other national teams who, well, are a bit past their prime, let's say. Obviously, they come here to North America to finish their careers, because if it were someone like Harry Kane, he's obviously not going to come here now.
In MLS, players still choose the European level, obviously, and then there's
Here because of Messi.
because of competition, salary, and when you put all those things together, the reality is that's where the best players gather.
Andy, you know that DePaul said it. Leo called me and told me to help him win. Who has any doubt about that?
It's Messi, his friends.
That's why or rather starting with
Coach Mascherano, everyone.
I sincerely hope that Lionel Messi continues to play for another 10 glorious years. I truly do. For the beautiful game of football itself, because countless people absolutely adore him because he fits in perfectly. He's truly the perfect exemplary kid. So I genuinely hope he plays for many, many more years to come, but we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, we'll certainly see what ultimately happens to this entire league the very day Messi finally stops playing. Let's get ready. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Just a minute, we'll be back. We're going to fix a little camera issue we have, and then we'll dive into everything that happened in the Champions League, all the refereeing decisions, the controversies with Real Madrid, and we've got some things from here as well. Right in the chat, we have a lot of topics to talk about. Do you prefer natural grass or synthetic turf? There are a lot of things we've touched on. MLS or Liga MX. Write in, communicate with us in the chat, and we'll be right back. We'll fix this, and in a minute, we'll be back again. All right, we're back now and fully up and running. Let's take advantage before we get into the local leagues, UCL and the Nord Collier League. We have some images as well that we'll show as we talk, and we have a few shout-outs too. Get the images ready, Dane, and go ahead and play the ones from the Nord Collier League, and in the meantime, we'll give some shout-outs.
Yes, a shout out to Dargel.
So those were the images from the Nord Collier League, which also started last week. There are a lot of results, but also some matches still pending, and only one match has been played so far. So we'll save all the standings for next week once all the teams have played their first game. It doesn't make much sense to go over the standings when there are teams with 3 points, the ones who won, and 1 point for those who drew, just like that. But anyway, the action is back in full swing. We already talked about UPCL, Carlitos, but give us the shout-outs. Yes.
A special shout out to Todos Magazine, the magazine I've been writing for about sports for a few years now. To our dear Darrell as well. And look, Leo Miami Sport, I don't know if you know him. To Pastor and Juantito Ancito,
We regards.
we send our regards, and I hope you're watching us on YouTube and social media. And I also want to let you know that this Friday, Carlitos, I think you already know, this Friday there will be a caravan at 7:30 in South Beach for the match, and those who go will get free tickets for Argentina versus Venezuela on October 10th. Yes.
In the context of a friendly match at the Hard Rock on October, on a Friday, we're here as well with Argentinos Napo Club, together with the supporters and the guys. Well, we're seeing if we can travel in a caravan from here in Naples that day to share the pregame and everything together with the Argentinians there in Miami. Surely everyone from the United States or Argentina who comes to watch that beautiful soccer match will be there. Afterwards, following that Argentina versus Venezuela match, Argentina will be traveling to Chicago to play against the Puerto Rico national team.
All right. Let's also send a greeting, as I was told, to Pablo's father, Miguelito. Miguelito might not be watching. Miguelito from Argentina, Uruguay, wherever he is.
We send him a big hug. Always supporting us as well. Well, at my house, Linda's wife, Mariana, is there, and I'm sure she's watching us too. Well, a big greeting to the
girls, and we also send a kiss to Adrian and Bea from B, Catherine Devine, who are always supporting us as well. We send them a greeting. There it is on the screen, so you can order all those delicious treats, all kinds of flavors. How delicious. It made me
hungry.
No, this is amazing, really amazing. And the empanadas aren't even there. And
well, very soon we'll have something from you, Net, here.
I'm
hungry now.
We had it for the presentation dinner, and honestly, it was a show, an absolute show. Everything was really, really delicious, so good. So, well, greetings to them as well. Remember that you can contact us via WhatsApp and send your videos to share with us. Our friend Mendoza got in touch with us during the week, and we'll be going over that as well because he reached out about a refereeing controversy in a video we showed last week, but we'll be reviewing that too. In the meantime, let's see what happened with UPCL. Well, actually, we're not going to see anything, but let's
go over some of the results. The local clubs from around here, well, let's start with the UPCLL Premier, which is the top level. Formeyer City made their debut, and we send our regards to them as well. Well, many former state players are participating there to keep the premium level up. They played against Ranger, a tough team from Metimpa. I had to face them last season. Well, this time the visitors, Rangers from Metimpa, took all 3 points. Fort Air lost 1-0. Then moving on to Division 1, which is the second division of the UPCLL. Well, Stay won as visitors 4-3 at IMG at the Academy of Engineering in Bradenton. It was a very tough match, but honestly, they've been battling little by little. The team that's doing really well and is just unstoppable right now. Well, the two forwards, Joel Mendez, and also this time they won 2-1, Escaluzza, who beat Florida Premier, but this time not with goals from Joel Mendez, but with 2 goals from Maximo Gorosito. We sent him a hug. I hope he celebrated it as passionately as he shouted it to me the other day. Well, Maximo is a kid here who puts in a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifice. Yes, because I gave him some criticism during the week, but it's good because it worked. Look, sometimes after that kind of criticism, you have to know how to push the players, so when they're angry, they perform better. Maximo, I'm sending you a hug. Stay mad if you're going to score all the goals. 1 goal, 2 goals every game. Keep being mad, man. So, well, that's that. And then, on the other hand, our friend Fady's team, who is also a referee and has his upper 90 team, they also played against Twins River, a team from Punta Gorda as well. But in that match, Upper also ended up losing. They lost 1-0, he tells me. Just like the whole game, they were the better team and made the opposing goalkeeper the star. But, well, they had to lose.
I love Fady. He's still hanging in there after a couple of seasons. It's not easy, but anyway, congratulations on starting a new season with his team. So we congratulate him and send a hug to Fede.
Yes, it's not easy for development clubs and everyone involved to participate in these national competitions where there are trips. We had to travel 2 hours, so it's complicated to set up the whole structure. We also need trainers. The league requires you to have a doctor on the field. All of that adds to the cost. And honestly, you really appreciate the effort of the owners, the coaches, and the kids who participate every weekend in such a competitive league like the UPCL.
Well, let's send our regards again to our colleague Marcelo, who for personal reasons can't be here today. I had already
forgotten about him. I don't know why you brought him to mind.
Yeah. You fall out of love quickly. Yeah. Well,
but Mark calling, you have to confirm if you're going to the Argentine party on Saturday.
Argentina, Lin.
I'll see if you don't back out. I'm telling you here on air, and well, we'll be waiting for you there on Saturday.
Yes. Marcelo, confirm your attendance or not. It could be that you won't.
I'm also canceling the
intermatch on Saturday to be there. We'll all be there, the
Argentine community and also the South American Latin community who really enjoy it. Well, it's going to be really nice, rock in Spanish, and then, well, the party at 10 will close with a DJ who's coming exclusively on tour through the U.S. with, well, Argentine partying, Argentine food, Argentine Fernet. So, most of the tables are already sold, only general admission is left. We're expecting a big crowd, and, well, it's a community party that keeps growing every day.
Very good.
Well, the chat is indicating that River has scored a goal, and if River does indeed score, the probability is 89.2%.
Well, that already changes.
Martinez Cuarta OC and
9. We have to see
how the match played out, but well...
Yes, well, today we have a really tough competition. We're competing against River and Palmeiras, folks. So, well, we have to face it head on and...
But you can put the game on, watch it on TV, and have us on your phone, so there's no problem at all.
Lur, who is joining us,
sends greetings to Gustavo Lopez. He must be suffering, Gustavo.
Gustavo too. Yes. Well, guys.
Greetings.
This lad, do you want everyone to go to Brazil right now? They'll get beaten up, next week. How much do you want to bet that the Brazilians are going to hit? Because they always hit in Palmeiras. Not that much, but they always
hit. The problem is Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. That's the problem. Hopefully not. Hopefully not, because honestly, after that CONMEBOL, no, I don't want that really. No, then CONMEBOL acts all tough with Independiente. And the truth is that things have been happening in Brazil for years and they never do anything about it. So I don't like those things. I don't like it. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. That everything goes well, calmly, but 2-1. Obviously, no one is going to leave the Monumental happy. But at least now it's a different expectation. You go into the second leg with a slightly more open series, because 1-2, 0-1, that was very complicated.
The fan doesn't understand it. The fan doesn't understand it, but those who go and try to see a bit of how the game develops do. Yes, Palmeiras is what Palmeiras has been showing. We didn't have the chance to watch it live because we're here on the show, but we'll analyze the match later. It's a very tough opponent.
Besides, the difference is that Palmeiras, because of how they advanced in the Club World Cup, ended up taking home more than $50 million, while River took home 18. So the budget is important too. And well, obviously, that's also reflected in the results on the field. You should prepare the report from Ana and Victor for me to wrap up what happened at Hopside Brewing on Friday, which I highly recommend. It's an amazing place. I didn't know it before. Honestly, the food is top-notch. They have craft beers, whatever you want. They have several taps. The kegs are right there in the back. You'll see it for 2 minutes, and then after that, we'll dive into all things Champions League, the controversial place, all the debates, and everything you've been waiting for. All right, we're wrapping up the night here at Offside Brunn, an amazing place, and we're here with the owners, Victor and Ana. Victor, how are you doing?
I'm good. We're doing great. How are you guys enjoying yourselves?
Well, thank you. Honestly, this place is really nice. Ana, thank you
all very much for coming here.
How does this work? I see you have a bunch of craft beer taps over there.
Yes, well, everything is crafted and made right here in-house. So right here, you can clearly see where we have the fermentation tanks. So, well, all the production process happens right here, and we have our fine wines, refreshing beers, crisp ciders, and well, for now, that is what we have available.
All right, and what about the hours, the days you're open?
Well, for now, outside of the season, we're open from Wednesday to Sunday. We're still closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, but once the season starts, we'll begin opening again. Regular hours are from 3 to 9 in the evening.
And I imagine you're also open for events and reservations.
Yes. Especially, well, usually on Wednesdays we have trivia, and then on Thursdays we usually do a throwback Thursday, so we play songs from the 90s or 80s. And on Fridays and Saturdays, we actually leave them open for live music or annual events that we have here.
All right, let's show it. Look.
Now look.
Let's show it here. Look, this is a little glass. A glass of craft beer. Cheers. Cheers. Congratulations. Thank you. Everything was delicious. Thank you, Victor. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
So we wrap up here what was Epsinios' victory as visitors. A lot of people, it was a total celebration. So whenever you want, you can stop by here in Bonita at All 41, just past Shangri-La. That's where this spectacular place is. You can come by. Thank you. Well, there you saw it. There you saw it. Truly an incredible place. Makes you want to go have a
little beer right now. Nice.
It's amazing. I'd like to give a shout out to Victor and Ana.
Yes, they're the ones who brew FC Nail beer exclusively for the matches and everything, so it's a really good beer. Among others.
What was Liddy Binnett telling me on TikTok that Andy had what? A question. Andy had a question for me, but now...
Short and to the point, yes, I can ask you now. That's something I've always wondered about this topic. It's nerve-wracking because no. Always with the topic of referees, right? They're not a very important piece in a match, whether they fix or not.
Fix? Yes, they fix.
No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that after those 90 minutes, or however long it is, he has to shower, go home, and take a bunch of problems with him. It's a job for him. He's a professional. But I want to ask if he has a psychologist. Look, they're laughing over there. They're laughing.
I can too.
In this case. Well, Rodolfo's children are also referees.
The simple truth is that both of them are currently at home.
Of course, because nobody asks themselves that. Maybe some people do wonder, but it's an emotional burden. It's a very difficult profession. Carlito, you're a coach and you have to manage. It's the same thing that happens to the players. If the question is for Rodolfo.
Or a bit more general to football, but everyone. For me, it's something, a compliment that everyone should have in high-performance sports, no matter what role you have.
Now I'll listen to Franco, but for me it's very simple. Like Carlos says, it's the same for players, the same for coaches. When it's my turn to referee, I have my game plan, my strategy, just like they do. The teams have their strategy, and we're alone on the field. There are 3 of us, depending on the league and the level of refereeing. Sometimes there are 3, sometimes 4. So, you know, when things go well, the feeling is absolutely spectacular. But on the other hand, when things don't go particularly well for me, and I come to the realization after the game has concluded that I personally influenced the final outcome with a bad or questionable decision, well, that's something that makes my entire night very, very difficult. It's hard for me. It's hard for me. Take it. I'll take it. It's genuinely become very hard for me to sleep peacefully because my head just spins and spins. I would have done this differently, you see. The truth is that I rushed things and added it in.
The sting. But Lada
Is part of, well, that has to have a special character. It's a course.
the part that you take.
From the other perspective, as a coach, it's exactly the same as what happened to Rodolfo. And that's precisely what learning is about. You learn more from mistakes and failure, as they say, than from success or getting things right. Because when you get things right, you go home happy. That's it. I did everything well, and you don't think about it. You don't question anything. Me, regardless of the result, whether it's favorable or not for my team, in my role as coach, because of the adrenaline from the games, that day, afterwards, until 2, 3, even 4 in the morning, I often can't fall asleep. But what?
It's tough, isn't it? Blaming the referee and taking responsibility for your players who didn't score the goals, and then blaming the referee again. And that's something I'm
very respectful about. And I tell my players, just like you make a bad pass, I can make a mistake with a substitution, and the referee can also make a mistake with a decision. Now, if you want better referees, better coaches, then play at a higher level. Obviously, if you're at this level and you're criticizing the referees or the coaches, it's because of the players. You're actually criticizing yourselves as players. Because if everyone could play in the MLS, which is the highest level here, or in the Champions League, wherever, then go ahead, train, run, and play.
Franco, a psychologist?
Yes, yes. Well, look, I'm going to talk about this for a minute, and then we can talk about the Champions League. Because my point is, since I was about 14 years old, and this was even before I was a referee.
13.
More than 10 years, almost my whole life. When I was younger, it was hard. It was hard until I was 20 years old. I still suffered from that. Like him, I don't know how, he still suffers from that. Because for me, it's easy now. When something like that happens to me, I think about it once, twice, how I could have done better as a referee. And then I get it out of my head, because why suffer? It's just a game at the end of the day. I say, okay, I made a mistake there. I could have done that differently, and that's it. And I say, well, next time I'll do it like that, and I get it out of my head right away. It's harder if you call a penalty in a playoff game, and maybe it wasn't a penalty. That's a different story.
Yeah, but that doesn't
happen much.
Hard. It's hard. Well, I can't speak for everyone, but I speak from what I know about him and what I can do myself, and also some friends I have who are refereeing at a higher level in Miami than in a final match. That's why when we were arguing the other day about Neuer, I told you, in a World Cup final, I wouldn't call that. Not a chance. That penalty isn't hard. Let's not go there. Here's another one telling you that
it was a penalty. You just don't want it to be. All right, look, going back to this.
I'm going to tie it in with this. It's hard, speaking for myself, to go home after a decisive match saying I called a penalty that wasn't one. Because to decide a final, it has to be a penalty.
It has to. But a final was being decided, because if it was a penalty and it was a goal, Argentina would have one more World Cup.
Of course. All right, but in the end, there are a lot of plays like that where the referee has to make that decision. And whatever decision you make, you're going to get criticism and complaints from both teams. But if you called it, some are going to complain, and if you didn't call it, the others are going to complain because you didn't call it. So that's always going to be there. That's always going to be there.
Do you like VR?
No. Another question. I wanted to.
No.
VR is detestable. We discussed it last week. Last Wednesday you got into the topic, Andy?
Well, it is. That's what it means. Didn't you watch our show? Sorry?
But we argued quite a bit, because for me it's an extremely powerful tool, a very good one. The problem is that humans always want to gain an advantage, always want to manipulate everything. And the way they're using it, it's unfair. It's detestable because they're using it to manipulate results. Now, if you tell me that this same VAR is going to be used by the players on the field and the coaches, and that they have the authority, like in tennis, like in rugby, to request a review themselves since they are the main actors, not some guy upstairs who might be getting a message from someone behind him telling him, don't look at that one. You're right. No, man, that's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. What you're saying makes sense. It's a disgrace. In Europe, they hide it a little better because they're more professional. They have the semi-automatic offside, and there are a lot of things that make it a bit less obvious. But even so, let's look now at what happened with Real Madrid. It happened in Europe, and it happens all the time, man. Yesterday, there were plays in the Real Madrid game. What VAR? The guy in the VAR was having soup. I don't know. You just can't, man. You can't go on like this.
What happened in the Real Madrid game? Let's see, because I didn't watch it.
Put on the champions. Let's see. Can you find what we have from the champions? The thing is, I know I'm going to go against a lot of people because there are a lot of Real Madrid fans. There are a lot of
Spaniards here in Naples.
Well, no, but there are so many different people around, and I honestly love it.
I love it. I watch a lot of Real Madrid, Barcelona, all of them. And hey, no.
That doesn't happen in Argentina. They're in Rosario.
In Rosario, you're either for Central or for Newell's.
It's important. There are a lot. I know many Bolivian friends who are Barca fans, Real fans. I have friends. Ricardo, sending you a hug. You're a Real Madrid fan too. Ricardo, the Adoica RDO one cell. I mean, there are a lot of people who support those teams. Real Madrid is the biggest club in the world. I won't deny that, and that's why it bothers me that sometimes there are.
When you look at Barcelona, there's a whole manual about how many teams you can support, but it's the most AD everywhere in the world, and all my life I'm going to be Ross, and
your national team is Argentina, period.
That's right.
There's nothing else.
Look at this. Get the one that says Champions Controversy is ready for me. The one where it says Champions, get the one that says Controversy is ready, and let's watch it. Because just like I say that Real Madrid is, for me, the biggest club in the world, and not by a little, but by a lot, it's also the most favored, and that annoys me. It annoys me because, first, they don't need it. They really don't need it. And second, it bothers me that the coin always lands on the same side. I mean, it just does. To the side, obviously, to the side of
power, to the side of business, and well, when it comes down to the little details and everything, they're the teams that carry weight.
Yeah, and if the controversies aren't ready yet, we can look at the champions' results. Go ahead, show me the controversies. Look, this was yesterday. Madrid first.
It's a penalty.
Well, the defender could have let that go. Yeah, that's fine. He puts his foot in recklessly, and we can't say anything about it. The call is fine. Even though he plants himself and falls, but it's fine. The defender puts his foot in the wrong way. There, we can't say anything because you see he plants himself. It's a call you can make, it's a call you can make, it's a call you can make, it's a call you can make. Even though Rodrigo plants himself and starts to go down. What raises doubts is that he brings his
2 feet together and jumps.
Real Madrid, for their part, to compensate, asked for this penalty against Mbappe, which for me wasn't one because he gets the ball. The referee himself says he gets the ball, he goes in with his studs up, but he gets the ball. But there's no doubt about this. There's no doubt about Carvajal's red card. Against the goalkeeper, he did the right thing. Yes. The goalkeeper doesn't go against. But look at this penalty. Look at this penalty. It was the 90-something minute. The score was tied 1-1. What happened? And Madrid wins with this penalty. Mano says, look at this, but look at this. He steals the ball. It gets left behind him, and it hits his hand.
With the hand and with what else?
There he steals the ball. There he steals with his hand. There it hits his hand. There it hits his hand.
The position is natural. Nothing unnatural about it.
Well, that's the thing about interpreting handballs. You all know that better than I do. But look at this.
Look at this, look at this, look at this. 4 Real Madrid players shouting, demanding a penalty from the referee. And that has an influence too. And yes, if they win, that also has an influence. Because what do you think, the referee? That he has a clear view there? Obviously not. If there are players in front of him who could be blocking his view, that...
Play wasn't reviewed, Chait.
But they did review it and ruled it as a penalty. Never...
They won it, but...
Just look at how he initially blocks the ball right here, and then, quite obviously, it falls directly back to him. Now, if you're going to tell me that this isn't a completely natural hand position when he puts it out to the side, well, okay, I can see that. But it's still a deliberate play action. Real Madrid can't
be the greatest team in the world if they won half their championships by cheating.
Pause it, Diaz, because there are...
And more.
Franco, there are more. But this is what we were talking about the other day. Play action, guys. That's what bothers me about the people who make the rules. It seems like they've never played. Guys, please, I'm begging you. With this whole handball thing, the referees are killing us. They're making our lives difficult. They're making our lives difficult. Now, everyone in the world is calling for any handball, and it can't be like that. And because of things like this, that's one of...
My question was, after putting up with all that, why do they complain to you as the referee?
I like it when they complain to me because otherwise I fall asleep during a match. I like it when they complain, when they curse at me, when they say all sorts of things. The parents, the coaches, the players, I like that they keep me on my toes because otherwise I get bored.
And I just proved that he can see perfectly from a distance. He's laughing because as soon as I sat down here, I saw that he has some cheat sheets way back there that I can't even read. And he can see them exactly as they are.
Can we keep going with the controversies, or are they over? Yes, let's see, because there are more. In the same match, all right, here it starts. Let's move ahead. Here we are. In the same match, there's this handball by Militar. In the same match, there's this handball by Militar. That's the one that...
If that's a penalty, so is this?
The referee, man, you can clearly see that it hits
The main body and the other one is located further away from it, man, you know. With your own interpretation as Barbet, you would certainly know it much better. Look, this...
happened a while ago. Look, for a similar handball, they gave a penalty for go. No, but there it hits him. His arm is away from his body. It hits his hand. And the other one, it hits his arm. It's the same.
Yeah, absolutely. It can totally accomplish that, without a doubt.
Ruin a final for you. I'm saying when
it's split like that, man, it's a mess. Yeah.
It happens in every match when it's
split. All right, fine. I mean, it's split, but when there's a consensus like in the World Cup with Pipita Higuain against Germany and all that, then it's different. Where if there are four of us and we all say it's a penalty and you say it's not, then who?
Who? Okay, but what happens is that you guys are talking to me today, 10 years later. How many
have already passed? Well, I must admit, I'm actually quite surprised.
I want you to put yourself in that situation. Back in 2018, there was no VAR. There was no VAR. Those penalties weren't called. Today, with all the exposure, they force you to call them. Even so,
there's something about that play. I remember it was a pass from almost 60 or 70 meters. The referee was really far away, and it's hard to spot that play. That's the only thing where I give the referee the benefit of the doubt. But anyway, it's over now. It's in God's hands.
God's. Let's go back. Let's go.
No, what I'm saying about Neuer's penalty is putting it in the context of that time. Back then, it was harder to call those penalties than it is today. Because now they show you these kinds of things, and VAR calls you, and there's the magnifying glass, the replay, back and forth. And FIFA's recommendations keep getting stricter and demanding more of that kind of thing. And I'm telling you this because as referees, we get recommendations that sometimes for me is really hard because I don't agree with the recommendations they give me. And then I go out on the field and you have to do what they tell you because it comes from above, but...
Rodo, sometimes changes in football are made mainly to try to improve the game, to make the spectacle better. And a lot of it is done with elite football in mind. Here, we're involved in a different kind of football, maybe a more grassroots one, where sometimes you don't agree because it doesn't match what you see. But what they're always aiming for is to keep the sport the way it is. And it's becoming more and more prepared through technology, physically, and with all the teams and players. The margin for error is getting smaller, the game is more intense, and you see fewer goals. If there are no goals in football, there's no show. The other day, I heard a former player suggesting the possibility of removing the offside rule from the game. Why exactly? Why more?
My goal is more, of course, to create more space. If there is
more space, the sport becomes more attractive.
He says now. Very boring, AB. Of course, very boring because teams, when it comes to defending,
close down the space. Teams, when defending, close down the space. And well, Devil is playing there, right? He's playing around a bit with the
chats, Christian.
I think the photographer who was coming, Rivertide.
No. It ended
2-1. What? I see there, goal. Rolo from Barcelona, our colleague Jose.
Pera says we need a psychiatrist, not a psychologist.
A psychiatrist.
You. Look, interesting, right? Me.
In my personal case, going back to the topic of psychologists, I want to send a hug to Victor West from Argentina, a sports psychologist. He worked at Racing, he worked at Rosario Central, and to this day, I still have conversations with him sometimes. It's been, 12 years now that I've been with him. No, really, it's important.
The players... Suarez, I think they also touched on this topic. It's controversial. Suarez, who at this stage, with his family, his kids, spitting, doing that, it's also a topic you could bring up. How do you deal with that issue and how did Messi handle it? What else? What are you looking at? Bobo didn't say anything else, but...
A gentleman.
But anyway, how do you actually handle that kind of pressure? It must be very difficult to manage.
And each one also, maybe because Suarez has had many of these incidents, it's not just this last spitting incident, he has several. It's a matter of
personality, but
personality, maybe if you give the same psychologist to Messi, to Suarez, things might not turn out the same because...
But also, it's kind of strange because it happened after the match. It was already over. It's not a player. I mean...
Now, how did this go down in the heart of Inter Miami? Because beyond the fact that Suarez has Messi's protective umbrella, since they're friends, I imagine there must be a... But did you see the attitude of...
Messi, where did he stay? In the middle of the field, he didn't move. That's what stood out. He just stayed there watching when they were receiving the cup, the medals. I mean, how does he do that?
Then he grabbed his friend at the hotel and said, "What are you doing?" I mean,
I have no doubt about that, but beyond that, how? Well, badly.
all bad.
All bad, really bad. I mean, he still has 2 more games left, and yeah, especially since
They really protect the club's image here, the image of the sport and everything, which obviously isn't too far off from what it is.
No, it wasn't.
nice, it wasn't nice, and maybe he did us a favor because look, I'm telling you, if in these 3 games that Suarez isn't playing, Inter wins, which I think is going to happen. Careful.
You're not a big fan of Suarez. No.
I don't like him. You
You can say it here.
I think he's going to retire now. I agree with you.
Look, Suarez is a striker who, for the level here, will solve things for you inside the box. The last few times I saw him, we made it to the cup.
thanks to him too.
For me, he's not at 100% physically, but well, he's a striker, a top player with a very good diagonal run.
The time is now 10:41. Everyone, let's get going. I want to thank Andy because he was supposed to be a guest and he stayed for the whole hour.
Thank you.
Can you come more often like this? Don't you love it?
Kinda. If there's a little more food, something to snack on,
Let us know.
it's called B Catering.
Let us know when you're coming and we'll set you up with B Catering. But if you confirm when you're coming, everything will be ready here. Thank you. That
Much.
don't have any problems. Yeah. Thanks, Andy, really. Greetings to
Everyone who is supporting 239 Naples football. Come on. Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Carlos, when are you playing again?
And now they have to confirm to me tomorrow if there is a date. This Sunday because it was a free date. Apparently they want to play again. Well, Calusa. No, the club has already informed me that he is free. Well, let's see. It will surely be decided tomorrow.
We're leaving. TikTok. Lady Beanut, we're leaving because we're also live there. On the 239 Naples football channel. It doesn't cost you anything if you help us grow. There are more of us every time. We help each other and we all share our opinions. I would love it if one day we could do the show together, us here and you over there. Let it be a constant back and forth between WhatsApp and the chat. And that you keep telling us, keep sending us topics to talk about, and we'll go along with you. Ultimately, we owe ourselves to you. And you are the ones who give us the sense of what really matters and what you want. You are the ones who want us to talk about certain things. So I would love for it to be a back and forth. Franco, another show where we've reached the end. Good night. Thank you very much. Everyone, thank you very much. Excellent work on the controls once again. So we're heading out, guys. Carlitos, see you next Thursday. Andy, whenever you're ready. Thank you. Best regards. V-Studio transforms your ideas into unique experiences. Audiovisual production, photography, streaming, and events in the heart of Naples. Find out more at www.btudio. Visit us online at SWFL. Come out. Also be sure to follow us on Instagram and join our wonderful and growing community.
Anthony Riccici Masonry with over 30 years of experience providing high-quality masonry work. If you're looking for construction cladding, we are your solution. We offer you quality for your projects, both interior and exterior. Anthony Riccici Masonry, supporting soccer in Naples.
Contact us at 239-450-4407.
LG Home Team, thinking about selling your house? Sell or buy your home with confidence at LG Home Team. Professional aesthetic preparation. Professional staging that transforms your property. High-quality photography. Official sponsor of 2039 Futbol Naples, One-Way Auto Care, your trusted workshop in Naples, Florida. Maintenance, repairs, and diagnostics with the best personalized service. Your car always safe, fast, and in the best hands. Learn more at One Way OOC. With Hollier Builders Group CBG Naples, your partner in high-standard residential remodeling and design. In Naples, Florida, we create custom-made spaces with excellence and style, thinking of every detail and every home. This project is presented by 239 Futbol Naples.
CGPS accounting service in the heart of Golden Gate. More than 15 years offering accounting and tax services, taxes, bookkeeping, payroll, notary services, and more. Call us at 239-43474 or on WhatsApp at 239-449-031. CGPS Accounting Service, proud sponsor of 239 Futbol Naples.
Six Sigma Roofing, specialists in roofing, construction, and remodeling throughout Florida. Protect your home with quality, trust, and quick solutions for every need. Learn more at Sigma Roofing. Complas. This message is brought to you thanks to 239 Futbol Naples.
At Super Soccer, we live and breathe soccer. We offer a fantastic selection of group gear for teams, a wide variety of fan merchandise, and completely custom uniforms. Furthermore, you can now print your own name and personalize your uniform so you can represent your team with your own unique style. Super Soccer, sponsor of 239 Football.
The Gulf Coast Dolph Soccer League is the adult soccer league in Naples. It is played at North Collier Regional Park. Men's, women's, and co-ed 7-a-side football in categories from 18 to 60 years old. If you're looking to compete, have fun, and connect with soccer fans of all ages, this is the league for you. 239 Football and Golf Possessed Adult Soccer League supporting football in Naples.
Black Mangrove Woodworks, specialists in wood and metal design and fabrication for residential and commercial projects. From tables and counters to unique decorative structures, everything is handmade with premium quality. Black Mangrove Woodworks, artisan design and fabrication in wood and metal. BlackMangroveWoodworks.com, official sponsor of 239 Football Naples.
Argentinos Naples Club, a cultural space for the Argentine community in Naples. Event organization, cultural parties, traditional food, and live bands. Join this passion on Instagram and Facebook.